Hi, my name's Neil. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm a 45-year-old skateboarder who took a 25-year break. I've been back on the board now for 6 years and I've been YouTubing the whole thing. That probably sounds really familiar to a lot of you, and so hopefully you'll enjoy some of my videos. Since the end of last year, I've been making some videos going back month by month, looking at 2023 in some kind of effort to diarise the year so that I can look back in the future month by month and see where I was at. And today's video is from July. I'm quite enjoying looking back at the year like this because it gives me an idea of my progression month to month. Let's get into it and see what July had in store. Okay, next up was a session at my local skate park, which is Bay 66 skate park in West London. I live just down the road from here, so it's my natural local skate park and I tend to go there at least once a week. Recently I've mostly been skating the bowl there and mostly been learning things like better board slides. So I've been doing board slides for quite a while now in the mini ramp, and I thought it was time to take them somewhere bigger and get used to them. This bowl is just about the right size for a next progression up from the mini ramp, but it has one major flaw, or at least one major issue to be conscious of when you're there, and that is that the coping is absolutely caked in wax. It's so waxy that you can't even hear your trucks grinding when you do a 50-50 on it. I've got used to that now, but anybody that goes there is probably going to get a bit of a shock. You know, it comes from the rollerbladers. They wax it because they want to do long grinds on their rollerblades, and they don't seem capable of doing grinds without copious amounts of wax on everything. The skate park don't seem to care. They don't put up any signs or warn anyone not to put wax on the coping. Wax on metal coping anyway makes it like ice. So, you know, you've got to be prepared for that, or at least aware of it. Now, luckily enough for me, I've been going there since I first started skating again, like 6 years ago. And so I've got used to it now. And I actually don't complain about it now. I've got used to it and strangely enjoying it. You know, the faster you go, the longer the grind you get, and you just kind of get used to it and you use it to your advantage. So I don't really complain about it anymore, but it's just worth bearing in mind if you're going to try grinds and slides on something like that. So yeah, I thought it was time to take the board slides into the bowl, but those board slides on wax and on rails on my board as well, they're going to be incredibly twitchy, but I kind of got used to now how to balance through a slide like that. So I've got used to it and I'm using it to my advantage. So I've been practicing board slide fakies and rock and roll slides. I had been practicing slides around the corner in the bowl with the ultimate aim of it being a rock and roll slide. I kind of stopped for a little while. I hurt my knee through a different situation. I actually bailed off of a 50-50 on the vert ramp and landed kind of in the flat bottom on my knee. But it made bailing and knee sliding quite difficult, and learning these rock and roll slides, you'll see that there's an awful lot of bailing and knee sliding. So I had to take a break for a while, but in this session I decided to kind of get back to them. So there's a lot of slides, board slide fakies, rock and roll slides, slides around the corner, and a few frontside disasters and maybe some other bits and pieces. But let's go and check out the footage. Okay, and the final session that I filmed was back at Bay 66 again. I only filmed a few clips here of what I was trying to do so that I could look back at the video and just see whether what I was thinking in my head was actually happening. And it might look quite boring to just watch, so I'm going to explain it as well. I was actually just practicing the placement of my trucks and the weight distribution of putting them down with an axle stool. Now, quite often it's very easy to do an axle stool where you're standing up fully on the coping with your wheels on the platform, you know, turn up and stool, and you can literally stand there all day until you decide to drop back in again. But I'm kind of conscious that there's multiple ways to do an axle stool. One of them that I try and do now and again is to only have the trucks touching the coping. So going up and turning into the stool, but not leaning back so that I settle and let my wheels touch the platform. If I stay leaning in, not 45 degrees, but a few degrees in, so that I'm only balancing on my trucks and then go back in. It's just a different kind of technique and different style, but I feel like, you know, the comfort in that helps learn other tricks, things like 5-0s or any other tricks where perhaps you're relying on your truck placement and your weight distribution and balance on the trucks only, without getting on there and relaxing and letting your wheels stop you on the platform and be able to sit there and chat all day and then go back in if you wanted to. That way I feel like is kind of the beginner way, the sort of learner way of doing a stool, of getting up there and standing on there. And I prefer to move on from kind of what a beginner way might be and learn to control things and be able to command the control, so that it helps me develop other tricks. So I really do like to try and finesse or improve on any tricks that I do. So I don't learn a lot of tricks, but the ones that I learn, I want to practice and refine better and more controlled and in slightly different ways, so that it hopefully helps towards other tricks. So the reason that I was doing this was firstly to balance just on my trucks, but also I was pivoting in and being quite slow about putting down the front truck. For me, this, in my mind anyway, will help me towards things like 5-0s, pivots. I can already do pivots, but I never do them in the bowl because the coping's so waxy. I've never really tried to do them because I don't want that lateral slip between the wheels. But I think the weight distribution and placement that I've been practicing will help with that as well. I don't necessarily want to pivot on the edge of the wheel. I want to be able to choose whether I do that or not. So I feel like this will help. But also I feel like it will probably help with placement, doing things like backside Smiths, where I would put the front truck over the edge but keep on the back, and as I say, pivots, probably all kinds of other things. But also I had a go in doing it front side as well, just to see how that felt, because at least on the mini ramp at this point in time, I was very much on top, wheels down, with a front side axle stool of 50-50. So I'm still in beginner mode with my front sides, and so this was kind of testing the water to see where I could go from there. And then I threw in some other tricks there, a couple of fakie pop rocks, if that's what they're called. Back in my youth we would call that a fakie disaster. If it was a 180, a front side or a backside, that would be a 180 disaster. So to me, that kind of pop rock thing is a disaster. I know it's probably unpopular to use old school names these days, or what people say might be wrong because it wasn't in Tony Hawk Pro Skater or something, but that's what I know them as, so it's a fakie disaster as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, I never really do those very much, so I haven't practiced them, and so they don't look very good, but I quite enjoy the pop and see how high I can get the pop. Strangely, I can do them forward from kind of nollie much better than I can do them fakie off the back truck, so that's something to work on as well. Will help with other things as well, so you know, bit of practice there. And that brings the July video to a close. So that was all the sessions that I filmed in July. It wasn't too much, but you know, that's how the sessions are. I don't film everything, I just film bits and pieces that I'm working on, or at times when I feel like getting my camera out. So hopefully you enjoyed that video. Hopefully you've been watching back through the other months and been getting an idea of what I'm progressing at or where I'm at. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you're working on any of those tricks that I'm doing. Strike up some conversation in the comments section. If you did make it this far and you did enjoy the video, please leave a thumbs up, and I will see you again very soon. Thanks for watching.